How's it going, folks? Super quick video about support roles and support duties. Attack or support? What's the best one to use under what scenarios? So you've got your different options, haven't you? Let's have a look at the screen here. So we've got a couple of strikers. Let's pick on strikers for today. So I've got deep lying forward there. He's on attack duty. Obviously you have the option to choose a support duty. What's the difference? In attack duty, the deep lying forward will sit further forward and be a bit more selfish. Same goes if he was a target man. It'd be a bit more further up. He wouldn't drop as deep. On a support duty, they will drop deeper. Looks to create chances for others. So in a support duty, they're going to drop into these holes a bit more. Perhaps even further back into the midfield area. On attack, he's going to stay up and in around that sort of area there. Why should you bother with these? Well, it can affect the way your team are playing. For example, if my team are starved of the ball and the boys up front aren't getting any of it, having both of them on an attack duty is maybe half of the problem, because they're not going to get the ball if they're both going to chill out at the top there, especially if you're playing a shorter passing game. So if you're playing a shorter passing game and your boys up front aren't getting the ball, if you slap one onto support duty, he can drop back a bit and maybe get the ball. It's a good alternative to completely changing his role, because if you've been playing him, say, as a deep line forward for quite a bit this season, then you suddenly say, Jesus, he's not getting the ball, I need him to drop further back and drop him into, say, a false nine. He's maybe not going to be as effective. Or if you're considering completely changing his position to get a bit of the ball, so for example, instead of him being up front, you're going to suddenly drop him into there, and again, he's not too comfy doing it. So a better change would be going from attack to support. Now, it's easy for me to say, but if you watch it in match on comprehensive or full, like I always go on about, then you'll see the difference for yourself. Let's have a look. Okay, we're in match here, and I've got 3 strikers up front just to prove this point. So we've got Enis over here, we've got Hakan there, and we've got Gökhan there. 2 of those boys are on attack, 1 of them is on support. Now the game's just started, we don't have the ball. Look at that. Enis, Gökhan, both on attack, Hakan on support. They're all in the same kind of role. They're all deep lying forwards, just for the sake of this example. But as you can see, Hakan has dropped way back than the other 2. So that's going to help us not only in defence, because he's going to be able to track these players in here, but when we receive the ball again, because we're playing a shorter passing game, we can get it to him before getting it to them, rather than leaving a big, huge gap in them areas. Now this is interesting, because when you put a deep line forward or target man on support, you would not expect them to come that far back, would you? Look at Hakan there. There he is. He's way back. So just because he's up front doesn't mean that he can't act like an attacking midfielder. So you don't necessarily have to move him if things aren't going right. You don't have to move him into that attacking midfield number 10 area. If you knock him into support, he can get back into them areas there and do a job for you. Now here's what I mean in a defensive scenario to win the ball back. Now if he wasn't there, if Hakan wasn't there, no one's going to be putting pressure on this lad here either. And there's just going to be this huge gap there. But as we play this on, Hakan there puts pressure on him. He puts pressure on him. He wins the ball back. What does he do? He releases it straight into his strike partner there. Strike partner. He's still a striker. This enables the ball to get back into our possession. Quick break. Hakan's quick to get back up into the forward position. So despite being on support, and we're talking about him drop back loads, he still gets up because he's a striker. Play it on. And you can see the other striker there on attack duty trying to get in behind. So he can help out in defence, but just as quickly he'll get back into an attacking position as well. A couple of highlights to finish this little segment off. So I've talked about how he can drop back if he's on support, basically acting like an attacking midfielder. So you don't need to put an attacking midfielder in there all the time. Let's highlight him. By staying up front, he's going to still be high up the pitch alongside his other strikers. We'll play this on. The ball's just up here with the throw-in taker. There it goes. And there he goes again, dropping back a little bit because he's on support. If he's on attack, he's in these areas. He's on support, he drops back, always looking for the ball to feet rather than over the top. As he receives it, he basically turns into the link man. So think of your Cantonars, think of your Sheringhams for the old school follower. Lays it back into the midfielder. Now his strike partners on attack duty, they've only got one thing in mind. There's head facing the goal. They don't care about the ball to feet. They want it in behind, playing it on. Midfielder takes it, finds the striker, bops it in. Now the next one, shows a different side to him. In fact, I'm going to have to change the camera position for my fat head. 1 second. Right, that's better. So we've got his strike partners here, down in the bottom corner there. They're attacking the ball high up the pitch, and he's slightly further back there. As the ball comes into that area a bit further back, who's onto it? He's onto it. And because he's got his striker instincts, let's move my head again. He can carry on and pop it in, just like a striker would. On support duty, it's a great tool. Now, it's not to say that an attack duty is a bad thing. It's the complete flip side. If you're having loads of the ball and your striker is a bit isolated up there, get your strike partner onto attack. He's going to sit higher up. So rather than him dropping back all the time into these areas, if you're dominating the play, or you're playing a high defensive line, for example, so you're right up here like this and you want to really push the opposition back, then an attack duty might come in handy because he's going to stay right on the edge and do all of his work in the top end of the pitch, providing even more threat to the opposition. There's two ways to use it: support and attack. It's a little tweak you can use rather than going crazy and dropping him back. Think about it. Can you drop him back into support role first? See how that works out for you.